Hey friends, welcome to the Friday check-in with Life Coach Jen. First off, I want to remind you, if you haven't listened to my podcast, please do. And just so you can get the newest episode in your podcast list, please follow, leave a review. I would love that. The more you do that, the more other people can find me. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I hope you subscribe so you can hear my Friday check-ins every Friday, as well as also watch my podcast. So I'm so glad you're here. This week, episode 223, Dating After Divorce, with guest Kristen Sokol, and she is a dating coach, and it was such a great podcast. So if you're divorced and you're dipping your toe back into the dating world, I hope you go listen to it. She gives some great advice, and I just think it's so different. For me, I got married in my 20s, so I haven't dated for over 30 years. It's a long time, and things have changed, and maybe people think they're better. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the dating apps. There's matchmakers out there. There's lots of ways to meet someone. I don't know what they are personally, but I know they're out there. And if you're interested, if you want to find someone, I know you can. I know you will. I believe in you. I believe in love. And so it's totally possible. I just think it's just valuable information. So I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did recording it. So go take a listen. And also, I'm so excited. I've had a few really awesome guests that will be coming up in the near future. I had a divorce attorney that I talked to. So if you're going through divorce and you want some more insight from an actual divorce attorney who has been an attorney for, I think, going on 50 years, and he's awesome, as well as a coach. She is a coach for adult kids whose parents had an affair. And I'm telling you, this is a big issue, right? Betrayal affects not only, obviously, the marriage, and whether you stay married or get divorced, it affects your kids. If you don't believe that, if you don't want to believe that, I would be curious about why. What are you making it mean? But I guarantee, depending on the age of your kids, but as your kids get adults, it affected them. It could not have affected them because it causes so much trauma to the person that's been betrayed, as well as the betrayer, living this double life, doing lies. It affects the family. And so anyway, so I'm really excited to have her on. Be watching for those different paths. Every Monday, I release a new episode. Now, in the news, I have to mention, I am not glued, like I don't have a wall, but I am intently watching the Lindsay Clancy case. Are you? Do you even know what I'm talking about? But honestly, first of all, her attorney is gold. I grew up, my dad was an attorney. Two of my brothers are attorneys. So I grew up really like knowing a lot about the law. And I actually thought at one time, maybe I'll become an attorney. I really enjoy the law. That wasn't my path, and that's okay. It's fascinating. I really like crime mysteries. There's like just a TV show. It's like a no-brainer. It's called Rizzoli and Isles. So if you like TV shows, there's 7 seasons. They're like less than an hour each episode. And I literally have been binging that for the past month or so. Watched all 7. I finished it last night. It's what I like to do at night. A murder happens at the beginning of the episode, and of course it's solved by the end. That's not how life works, right? I'm thinking these cops did not do their job. In my opinion, they were trusting the husband. Oh, my wife did this, without even going into this. So I for sure am of the opinion, and it is clearly just my opinion, that there is more to this story. I think this man was having an affair, wanted to get out of his marriage. He thought, great, I can make a clean sweep, kill my kids. I hope he didn't. They are dead, so someone did kill them. And even if she did, I think she was framed, she was drugged. Anyways, if you haven't listened to it, I'd love to know, if you want to talk about it, your thoughts about it. But it is all over the internet. I think a master in what a good attorney looks like, and what kindness, what compassion. The beautiful part of this, I've been a woman in an emotionally abusive marriage, and it really resonates with me with her husband. He seems very full of himself. Clearly, she was undergoing a lot of depression, postpartum. All of those things are real. I never experienced it to that extent, but I did experience a husband not supporting me with my 4 children. He thought he was supporting me. He was supporting me financially, but not emotionally. And my generation, at least how I was taught, we just continue and just pull through it, and we don't need help from our husbands. And I'm glad that's changing. I just think there's so many red flags, and I just see huge red flags with this husband, and huge huge holes in their case. So I've enjoyed watching that. It's really sad. I think the humanity and the compassion that it's bringing out in people is really beautiful. The last thing I want to talk about, I think in betrayal, there is a lot of secret keeping. And I'm going to talk about this on my podcast with the coach I told you about who helps adult children. But there's a lot of secret keeping. And I know I became a secret keeper for my husband when the first time he cheated on me. And so I held those secret for 20 years. People were like, why would you hold that secret? Because of this shame I felt. He continued instilling in me that it was my fault. I was the reason he was doing these things. I don't know why I believed them, but I did. And I have so much compassion for past me, the secret keeping. And so often we have our kids become the secret keepers. And my daughter caught my husband, her dad, with this other woman, his last affair, we'll say, how my marriage ended, begged her to not tell me and said, you don't know what you saw. You didn't see what you saw, right? It was nothing. Don't tell your mom. She'll go crazy. She'll be upset. I love her. You didn't see anything here. And that sweet girl for months kept that secret. And I could see that she was dwindling. She was struggling. It was her last semester of college. We worked together. And so she lived on her own, but I would see her at work and she would show up in her sweats. We worked at a clothing store and she did work in the back room, but I'm like, she just looked like she barely woke up. She wasn't sleeping. I had some professors calling me, and secrets can eat you alive. And I just want everyone to know your secret will definitely come out someday. Maybe it's when you pass away. Who knows when it is, but it's going to come out. And what I find, people can handle the truth more than a lie. And I know it feels scary to tell your kids, hey, I had an affair, or your dad or your mom had an affair. That feels, oh my gosh, that's the worst case scenario. That's not the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario is holding it in, keeping it a secret, and then having it come out in another way. Whether it's in your kids numbing out with alcohol, drugs, sex, creating the same behavior. There could be a million negative ways that could come out, but I guarantee you just being straightforward, honest. We don't need the nitty gritty. We don't need to show pictures. We don't need to show text messages. Just the honest, basic truth is going to serve you so much better than the lie, because your kids are going to know, wow, my mom, she's going to tell me a hard truth. Even if it's a hard truth for her, she's going to tell me. And so when I need her or him, if you're the dad, because a secret is wrapped in shame and a lot of blame, but a lot of shame and trauma. And I know some of you do not feel safe to share your secret, and that's okay. Just don't lie to yourself. Don't be in denial. At least be honest to yourself. If that's the only person you can be honest to right now, is be honest with yourself and recognize, am I in denial or am I living in reality? Am I accepting the reality or I'm pretending? I did a lot of pretending. I pretended for a long time, tip over the apple cart, I guess is what they say, or status quo. I know what status quo is. I can live in that, but eventually it just ate me alive and I was miserable and it was affecting my kids. It was affecting me. And so luckily for me, I got out and I ultimately was able to be honest with my kids. And I wasn't being honest with them to dig at their dad, or you get to have whatever relationship they have with the other parent. But for my sake and theirs, I needed them to know. And I guarantee that went so much farther than their dad, who's chosen to keep it a secret still. He is in denial in la la land that what he did and that what he did even affected his kids. And it was several years ago. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it happened 20 years ago, 5 years ago, yesterday. If you're keeping it a secret, it eventually will eat at you and will have to come out. So challenging you, we don't have to put a billboard out like my spouse had an affair. I know some of you would like to do that. I get it. But we've got to be honest, be curious, especially if you're getting divorced. Now I get, even if you stay married, eventually I think it's important to speak the unspeakable will dissipate the shame. However you want to do that, obviously age appropriate, but I'm telling you, like, yes, adults and teenagers. Teenagers are smart these days. They know, and we don't want them to think it's about them or that they're holding that secret in. So anyways, that's my soapbox today. On that, I want you to think about it. Let me know if you want to disagree with me. I like people that disagree with me. I'm willing to hear you and and hear your side of it. So have a great weekend. And I know some of you are getting your kids back to school or they're already at school. So I hope you survive buying all those school supplies. And if you need help, I'm here. I love to help men and women heal from betrayal. And I must say, if you're my client, I just love my clients, and I just, to see their progress, to know that there is hope out there. Just want each of you to know there is hope and there is healing, and it's for you. It's for everyone. So anyway, so glad you're here, and have a beautiful weekend. Talk to you next Friday.